Right.
Hare Krishna Varshana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. णपरम.
Okay. What does this say? Okay, so let us get started here. After these brief prayers to the spiritual master, we'll get going here. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tatasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapat Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari. All right, so we have Chaitanya Priya with her avatar, which is our Priti Mataji. Okay, so I was just thinking that we all could chant 3 rounds, 3 Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because our Namazya Mataji lost her mom, so we could pray for her. So, okay, so on the count of 3, we can chant that together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Praying to the Lordships that they grant safety and safe passage to our dear Namazya Mataji's mom. Obviously, she gave birth to a devotee, so she is a devotee in her own rights. And may she have a safe and a smooth journey to her next destination. Thank you so much for considering our request. Hare Krishna and pranams. Okay, so let's see. What words are we going to do today? Do we know?
15, Mataji.
Which chapter?
Chapter 6, text 15.
Sure?
No, Mataji, 16.
16? Sure?
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody wants to refute that claim that we are at 16 today?
I just go with her, but because my book is there in Philadelphia.
Your book is in Philadelphia?
Yeah, my everything was 16 dot what, Mataji? You said
6.116.
6 dot.
16. Sorry.
That's what I thought. 6.16.
So when did we do 15?
Did I miss that, Mataji? 13 and 14, 2 together we did, and before that we did 2 together, 11 and 12. And I think, Mataji, you're right. I think we are on 15, 6:15.
Yep, you're right. Okay, so shall we get started on
Mataji.
6:15? Okay, so let me close this myriad of things that I have these open here in my box and save. Okay, so
I'm lost. I don't know why.
take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, Mataji, I don't know what happened to me.
Mataji, you see the recording because I remember this word, yuñjann and evam.
I remember
wanted to
13,
ask
14.
you- No, I wanted to ask you that why can we recite it in this way, that yuñjann eva, yuñjann eva. So this comes to my mind. That is why I felt that we have done 15.
So why don't you check the recording?
Mataji, I don't know. I'm not too good at.
Yuñjan evam sadātmānam yogī niyata-mānasaḥ.
Well,
Is that-
so we are missing Komal Radha
Right.
Mataji. She was the only one witness.
Yeah. But this is correct, Mataji.
What is correct?
I'm with her. Because after 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15 we are doing.
There will be a fine. You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're never wrong.
Varshana Mata is saying yuñjan evam sadātmānam. That is correct too. So all this coincidence.
But the question is
Mataji,
not,
we have done.
not that. The question is not
Mataji,
that.
we have done 15.
You
Here
have
it
done
is, the
15?
proof.
When
Yes,
did we do 15?
yes, Mataji, this is
The
6:15.
practicing constant control
12,
of the body.
1:24. Today's
Today is 12th, Mataji.
yeah. Now you are doing it.
Okay,
I can
class
see.
dismissed.
You are correct, Mataji. You must have put it for 12th, this one.
What 12th, Mataji? We are broadcasting right now.
No,
Is
no,
live.
no.
That's why
She
it's showing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Yes,
She must
Mataji.
have, yeah. She
Yes,
must have put
Mataji.
it for 12th.
We have done on 6th, we did 13 and 14.
Yeah,
And today we have to do 15.
that is
Right.
correct, Mataji. That is correct, I'm telling you. Because
saying that 16 was
today is
correct.
12th. Another correction is today is 12th, Mataji said. That is correct. Varshana Mataji is absolutely correct. She took Sukamala Mataji's place today. This is correct, Mataji. I agree with her.
I rest my case.
No fine,
So,
no fine.
just so that you all know that last Friday we did 13 and 14 together,
Mm.
and then
Mm.
on the Sunday after that we did 241, which was practicing, the recitation, and Vyavasātmaka buddhi ekehi kurunandana. That one we did, and then today we are going to do the yuñjan verse. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Come on.
Hey, Varshana Mataji is absolutely correct.
No. I made a mistake in the beginning.
No. This is right, Mataji. On the 12th, you must have wrote it on the 12th. That's correct. Everything is correct.
Okay, 6.15, enough. We have spent 13 minutes on trying to figure out where we are, right? Yeah. And the memory will decrease a lot. You're only left with 17% of the memory by the end of 1 week. So if you remember the chapter, what you were reading, that's a big thing. But if you even touch it once, even if you touch it once after the class is over, then it will stay, right? And the same applies to all the verses that you recite painstakingly on Sunday morning, getting up early in the morning, and then going through, at 6 o'clock, 6:30 here on the West Coast. So if you touch it just once, it'll stay. So key to memory is repetition. That's how kids learn, right? They learn so fast, so much on nursery, right? When they come, the small kids, 3-year-old, and they remember Baba Black Sheep and Raja Beta Nikla Kase and ABCD and everything, right? So that's our repetition. So today's verse is yuñjann evam sadātmānam yogī niyata-mānasaḥ śāntiṁ nirvāṇa-paramāṁ mat-saṁsthām adhigacchati yuñjann evam sadātmānam yogī niyata-mānasaḥ śāntiṁ nirvāṇa-paramāṁ mat-saṁsthām adhigacchati yuñjann evam sadātmānam yogī niyata-mānasaḥ śāntiṁ nirvāṇa-paramāṁ mat-saṁsthām adhigacchati. Synonyms. Yuñjan.
Can you share the screen, please?
I'm not sharing this thing.
No.
What am I sharing then? Okay.
Something.
The
Introduction,
Facebook?
photos,
Are you seeing the
posts.
Facebook? Are you seeing the Facebook page? Okay. How about this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Got it.
Yuñjann evam sadātmānam yogī niyata-mānasaḥ śāntiṁ nirvāṇa-paramāṁ mat-saṁsthām adhigacchati. Yuñjann, practicing. Evam, as mentioned above. Oh, what was mentioned above? Now you have to remember, what did we discuss last week? It says, as mentioned above. So what is mentioned above? What was mentioned above? Go quickly to your books and tell me. Open your books.
One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose.
Okay, good. Where is the tip of the nose?
Mataji, you told the tip of the nose and not here, and you said, look here.
Here, between the eyebrows.
All right. Okay, then what else was said there? So
That's
you sit
with
down
an
straight. Yeah.
unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life. One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
Yeah. So what was so particular about this verse?
The ultimate goal of life is Lord Shri Krishna. Just meditate on him and sit straight. Means those are the ways told that this is how you should sit and have a form.
Right.
Bring your
And then
concentration.
And what was one of the key requirements?
Bring your concentration on the tip of the nose.
No, that is an action.
Yeah.
What is a
Completely free from
requirement?
sex life.
Yeah, you have to be devoid of
Free
sex
from
life,
sex
right?
life.
You have to be a brahmachari.
Okay.
Right? And what was the definition of brahmachari? Do you remember? It's in the purports of that verse.
Yogi should then sit on practice fully, controlling mind, senses, and
There was a verse that was described what are the expectations of a brahmachari. You know that?
Okay.
Mat-chitta, mat-paraha, mat-sthanam. Sa vai mana Kṛṣṇa padaravindayo tam eva veda vete mrityam ete. One should overcome the path of birth and death.
It's a verse that is quoted. So you can look at how many verses are quoted in a purport and look at the verses, touch the verses with your eyes, and you will know which one talks about brahmachari.
God.
Nobody found it?
Oh, 1 minute, Mataji. Vishyan vinivartante niraharasya dehinam rasvarjan rasopaye asya param drishtva nivartate. No, this is not the one. Karmana mansa vacha. Yes, Mataji. Karmana mansa vacha sarva vastheshu sarvada sarvatra maithun tyaga brahmacharyam prachakshate.
Right.
The
And
vow of brahmachari is meant to help one complete abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, and mind at all times, under all circumstances, and in all places.
right. So these were the key words. At all times, under all circumstances, and in all places.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is what was told. Right. That was saying, as instructed above. Now, even before that, what were they telling? See here, it starts with an action, right? Similarly, in this particular verse, they are saying that, Sarvam Kaya Shirogrivam. Okay, you are doing this. But before that, what were you doing to set the environment? What were you doing in the previous verse?
Hare Nama Kevalam Kṛṣṇa.
In the previous verse.
Suchau Dehe Pratishtapya.
Mataji has said that one should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. This was the first one.
This is this current verse we are discussing. I'm talking about the verse which is before that.
Before that is the Samam Kaya Shirogrivam Dharayam Achalam.
One should go to the secluded place, lay a kusha grass on the ground, and then cover it with the deer skin and the soft cloth. The
Correct.
seat should neither be too high nor too low, and should be situated in a sacred place.
Right. That's how you're setting up the environment for doing Dhyana Yoga.
Yeah.
Right? So after you set up that environment, you have to sit very firm, right? And then here, for it is saying you have to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point. So he's just saying you purify your heart.
Yeah.
That's the statement, right? Purify the heart. And then now from there, then it said that, okay, you sit straight. And how do you purify your heart? Then you have to be a brahmachari, this and that, right? And then in today's verse, what they're saying is that yuñjan evam sadātmānam. So yuñjan, you have to practice. Evam, as mentioned above, right? So now, you go to a secluded place, you put a kusha grass, you just sit erect, you stare at the tip of your nose, you be a brahmachari, yada, 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 right? Like that, right? So he's saying after you do that, evam, as mentioned above, sada is constantly, right? Just as for when you saw the description of a brahmachari, what did it say? At all times, in all situations, in all circumstances, right? So here also he is saying constantly, without any fail, right? Sada, and then if you look at this verse, sada and plus ātmānam, sada and ātmānam. So now you know in Sanskrit that the word atma can mean many things, right? Atma can mean what? What are the things that atma can mean?
Atma, soul.
Yes.
Soul.
Then atma is also used for what other than soul?
Mind, Mataji.
Mind, correct. And then what?
Body too.
Body also, right? So the mind can be, word atma can be used for any of the three. So here he's saying sadātmānaṁ. So see how Prabhupada is translating that, and he's pointing out that, just don't think atma means atma, the soul. He's saying body, mind, and the soul, right? All three of them together. Okay. So then yogi, the mystic transcendentalist. So mysticism, right? What is mysticism? Mysticism is when you try to do dhyan yoga, when you try to control your mind from wavering and going here and there, you control it. And as part of that, you get some opulences or siddhis, right? So a person who does that is a yogi. We call them as a person. Yogi Baba is there. He can walk on water. Yogi Baba is there. He can fly, right? So these are yogi. They've got mystic powers. But if you look over here, how is Prabhupada translating the word yogi?
Yogi, the mystic transcendentalist, they say.
Yeah. So instead of saying that yogi is a mystic, he's saying mystic transcendentalist. So because a yogi can stay at two levels. A yogi could be dabbling completely with the material world. If you're flying, if you're walking on water, is that a material activity or is that a transcendental activity?
Material activity.
Material activity, right? So he's also called a yogi. But here Prabhupada is saying, which yogi? Transcendental yogi. Transcendental means beyond the material nature, beyond the material world, right? Mystic transcendentalist. So one who is trying to connect with something which is beyond this material nature. And what is it that is beyond this material nature that you want to get connected to?
Mind? No.
Is mind beyond the material nature? What is it beyond the material nature? Come on.
Soul.
Okay, but you are the soul. What is beyond that? What are you trying to get connected to beyond the material nature?
Kṛṣṇa.
Kṛṣṇa. Yes, the simple answer. Yeah. So beyond, the mystic transcendentalist is one who would like to connect or yuj or yoga with Kṛṣṇa. So that is a mystic transcendentalist who does the practice. He can do Ashtanga yoga, but his purpose is to connect with Kṛṣṇa. A person can also do Ashtanga yoga for various reasons. I want to have a good body. I can do Ashtanga yoga. I'll get a good body. Here you are on the material plane. Okay? And then, so he's mystic transcendentalist, and he says, niyata-mānasaḥ. Niyat means niyam. Niyam means regulation, rule. So niyata-mānasaḥ means that with a regulated
mind.
Okay? Not a mind that goes here and there. Manorathena sthit dhavato bahi. Like mind is a manorath. Mind can sit and take the soul also on a rath and then take you to various places in the material world. Right? So he's saying, niyata-mānasaḥ. No. I have controlled my mind. It's not going to take me at various places. Right? Śāntiṁ. What's the meaning of śāntiṁ?
Peace.
Peace. Okay. Nirvāṇa-paramāṁ. Nirvāṇa-paramāṁ, cessation of material existence, right? So here you have to be careful and cognizant of the fact of the word of the use nirvāṇa, right? So in other philosophies, nirvāṇa basically means that you merge into void and then there is nothingness, right? But that's not the case. Nirvāṇa-paramāṁ here in our philosophy basically means that you have stopped doing material activities. Your material existence is finished, right? So when the material exists, so other philosophies will say that nirvana means everything is finished. You are gone. Whoever you are, you're gone, completely annihilated, gone, completely void, right? But our philosophy doesn't say that. Our philosophy just says that you are a soul. You are trapped in this material body, gross and subtle. And now nirvana basically means that you stop acting at the level of your body. And you start acting at a higher level, which is a transcendental level. Okay, so nirvāṇa-paramāṁ means cessation of material existence. So how will the cessation of material existence happen? Niyata-mānasaḥ, when you regulate your mind, right? Otherwise, what happens? You're sitting in front of a television, and they are showing you ad of a burger, or they are showing you an ad of a pizza or an ice cream. Okay? So from the outside world, there are so many stimuluses that are going to come. And then the mind is going to say, hey, ice cream, let's have ice cream. It's not a regulated mind. And the mind will keep on telling you these kind of things. Right? And you will indulge in that ice cream. That's a material existence. So nirvāṇa-paramāṁ means when you cease all these material existence, cease doing all these things. Mat-saṁsthām. the spiritual sky. That mat means mind, right? Samsthan, the place where he stays, resides, the spiritual sky or the kingdom of God. Adhigacchati. Adhigacchati means attains, does attain, right? So when a person is doing mystic yoga, but a transcendental mystic yoga, which basically means he can go to a secluded place, he can sit in the secluded place, he can put a kucha grass, he can put a deer skin on top of it, he can sit straight, and he can try to focus on in between the eyebrows, right? So when I'm focusing, you remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you the difference between focus point and the point of focus, right? So I could be focusing in between my eyebrows, but basically what exactly am I thinking while I'm focusing my attention there at the eyebrows? I'm not thinking about how it looks like, my eyebrows need to be shaved, I didn't go to the beauty parlor, nothing like that in between the eyebrows. When you are focusing in between the eyebrows, you are focusing on Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So when you do that, right, I could also focus on just void or just any name, and which basically means that I could be focusing on, say, Microsoft, right? And the Microsoft, and I seize all of the thoughts that I have. The only thought that remains in my mind is Microsoft. Not much good is going to come out of it, right? But if you focus your mind on Kṛṣṇa while you're doing all this, right, then what's going to happen? First is that you will get śāntiṁ. What is śāntiṁ?
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, right? So you will get peace. And then because you're focusing on Kṛṣṇa, then as a byproduct of your focusing on Kṛṣṇa, your material existence will finish. And why does it finish? Because Kṛṣṇa Surya Sam, Maya hai adhikar, jahan Kṛṣṇa tahan nahi mayera adhikar. This means Kṛṣṇa is like a sun and Maya is like darkness. So as soon as the sun comes, where is darkness? Darkness has to run away. So similarly, when you start indulging or engaging in transcendental activities, the mystic transcendentalist, when you become the mystic transcendentalist, then your material existence will cease. And you will notice that most of the problems that you have in life are because of our material, our indulgence in the material plane, or activities on the material plane, or identifying ourselves with this body, or identifying our near and dear ones as mine, right? Me and mine, the material plane. But when that ceases, then automatically you will get peace of mind. In the 5th chapter, last verse we read, right? Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhrit sarvabhutanam gyatva mam śāntiṁ richati. So as soon as you understand that Kṛṣṇa is a supreme enjoyer, then you will get peace of mind, because then you will stop the mad scramble between that I want this, I want that, I want this, and I want that, right? Like if you go and stand outside the White House, or you go and stand outside the Parliament in India, you cannot say, I want to possess this building. It is not yours. You'll only get miserable, right? So cessation of material existence is going to lead to peace. And then from there, you will go to the spiritual sky. So in the Bhagavad Gita, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, Divinity and Divine Service, it says, Parthiva daruno dhumas tasmat agni trayimaya tamastastu dajas tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam. So it says that, starting from the lowest, Parthiva daruno dhumas tasmat agni trayimaya. So better than earth is wood. From where does wood come? It comes from earth, right? You put a plant in the earth, so it takes its stuff from the earth and gets transformed into wood. So wood comes from earth, but better than earth, wood is much better, because you can use wood to do yajna. You cannot just use earth to do yajna. So Parthiva dharuno dhumas tasmat agni trayimaya. And then better than wood is some smoke, because it is at least is giving an indication that the wood has started to burn, and now I can do my yajna. And then of course agni is the best, right? Because then you can do your yajnas properly. So that's a gradation. And then similarly, tamastastu rajas tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam. They say tamas from the lowest mode, which is mode of ignorance. Tamastastu rajas. So rajas is better than tamas. Mode of passion is better than mode of ignorance.
Yes.
But then he's saying mode of goodness is even better than mode of passion. And why? Tamastastu rajas tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam. Sattvam means mode of goodness, sattvic. So from there, you will be able to see Brahman. So for you to be able to indulge in mystic transcendentalism, right? Or to be engaged in the Lord, first you have to raise your consciousness to the level of sattvam, right? Sattvam basically means that I will avoid eating these things, avoid sleeping too much, too little, all that kind of stuff, right? So once I come to that, I have to come to that stage, and then I will be able to go to the next higher stage. Sattvam yad brahma darshanam. Then I'll be able to go to the next step, which is beyond this material world and into the transcendentalist, right? So he's saying mat-saṁsthām, the spiritual sky, the kingdom of God. Adhigacchati, you will attain it. Right? So that's what this particular verse is saying. Thus, practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God or the abode of Kṛṣṇa by cessation of material existence. So your material existing has to finish, not you, because you are not material. You are spiritual, right? You have existed always. You will always exist, right? Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Second chapter we read that when the body is annihilated, the soul doesn't get annihilated, right? And we read so many things. It cannot be withered by the wind, right? It cannot be cut by weapons, and so on and so forth. Right? So all that happens is that your material existence will finish, and then you realize that who you are. That you are a soul, and you're not this body. Okay? So, purport question.
Mataji, can you kindly repeat it? You said nirvāṇa. In the material world, when people say nirvāṇa, what did you say specific?
Not in the material world. Not in the material world, in some philosophies, like Buddhist philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about void. The void.
Voidness.
Idea, void. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
So, purport by Srila Prabhupada, the ultimate goal in practicing yoga is now clearly explained. Yoga practice is not meant for attaining any kind of material facility. It is to enable the cessation of all material existence. That's how you do pranayam, that's why you do asanas, that's why you do pratyahara. All that you're doing is basically that I'd stop indulging and doing, and being in the material existence, in the material platform. One who seeks an improvement in health or aspires after material perfection is no yogi according to Bhagavad Gita. Nor does cessation of material existence entail one's entering into the void, which is only a myth. There is no void anywhere within the creation of the Lord. There is no void. Right? Now, when how does science teach us, right? So when the science, you read atomic physics. So in the atomic physics, they teach about the structure of an atom, right? Let me see if I can bring up the structure of an atom. It's been many, many decades that I looked at structure of an atom. How does it look like now? Okay. Yeah, so this is the structure of an atom. So I want you to visualize this. That I pick up this, right, water bottle. Okay. Now I'm looking into the structure of the water bottle, and I'm seeing the water bottle was made up of atoms. And how does an atom look like? Well, atom has got a central part here, which is called the nucleus, right? And then, right? And the nucleus will be made up of certain things. Right? Okay. That. Here, right? So this is an atom. And in the nucleus, and it's a very high and very crude and, high level description of atom. There are many more things in an atom, but you're saying inside this atom, there are protons and neutrons, and this part is called the nucleus, the main part of the, right? And then all around it, inside that atom over here, these are these electrons, right? Which are used for, this is basically electricity. So these electrons, they are all just moving in these orbits. They are moving all around this nucleus, which kind of almost looks like the solar system that we have. Okay. Now the question here is that if you're looking inside an atom, in the middle, you said that there is atom, there is the nucleus, right? And you said around the nucleus at a distance, there are these orbits in which these electrons are moving. Now the question here is, what is it which is between the nucleus and the electron? What is it there?
What is that question, Mataji?
Mataji, gravitational force is there and air is there.
No, 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 no. There is no air. We are now looking inside the bottle. We are looking inside the bottle.
What is the question,
Yeah.
Mataji?
Right? And we are taking an atom from the bottle. And I'm saying science describes the atom as inside there is in the middle of every atom. So many such atoms are going to make my water bottle. But inside every atom, there is a nucleus where you have protons and neutrons, like 6 protons, 6 neutrons is saying. And then there are electrons all around him. And my question, Vindhyavali Mataji, is what is it that is between this electron and the nucleus? What does science tell us? What is there in between?
Electrons. Proton?
Proton is here, here.
Okay.
Right?
Air?
So, no, remember you have gone inside. Okay, now let's take air. What is air made up of?
Bhumi.
No,
Hello?
I'm asking from a scientific perspective. What is air made up of? From
Gas.
science. Okay, which gas? You breathe air, right? What do you breathe?
Oxygen.
Okay, so oxygen is one gas. Okay. Now I'm taking an atom of oxygen, okay?
Okay.
I've gone into the microscopic level. I've taken air. From the air, I've taken oxygen. From the oxygen, I'm looking at an atom of oxygen, right? Everything is made up of atoms. So oxygen gas is also made up of atoms. And now I'm looking inside the atom. So now you can't tell me that in between this, there is air. Because we are analyzing air itself, right? You're saying that all these things make up air. So you can't say there is air in between the two of them, right? So when the when the scientists explain, they will say there is vacuum in between.
Ah.
There's vacuum, right? So you can imagine how much of vacuum is there in our body. There are billions and billions and trillions of atoms in our body.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if I showed you the structure of an atom, how much was it? There was more vacuum and less of the substance there. Right? So they say there's vacuum. Vacuum means nothingness. And what Prabhupada is saying here is that it says, in this Srishti, this made of world of the Lord, there is no void.
Yeah.
Right? So what do we have? We have, so we are talking Prithvi, Vayu, Anilo,
Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu.
Vayu, right? So those we are analyzing, right? Bhumi, earth. I can analyze, take a little piece from the earth. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen, so many things, right? I take up one item from there, and then I look inside, get to the atom, and I'm saying, okay, proton, neutron, electrons, right? Everything is made up of proton, neutron, electron, like that. But my question is, what is there in between? So we go back again to Bhagavad Gita.
Water.
Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu.
Water.
No, Mata, you're not thinking. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi.
Mano, Buddhi,
Kham. Right? So there is Kham. We don't hear about Kham in science, right? So Kham is actually space. And it's very difficult to understand space. What exactly is space? Although we say, give me some space, right? So there is Kham. In between the nucleus and the electron, we define there is a substance called Kham. It is very, very subtle. Very, very subtle that, scientists might say there is vacuum, but it is not vacuum. Wherever scientists say there's vacuum, there is Kham there. Right? But science is very, very different. The way we look at, and our Shastras look at things is very, very different from science. Science is just telling you basically that this whole world is actually, if you were to compact the earth, I remember when I was doing my physics, it said after explaining this whole thing, they said if you were to compact the whole earth, it will become the size of a football. Like that, right? So here he's saying, Prabhupada is saying that there is no void anywhere within the creation of the Lord. Right? So don't think that a void is nothingness, that I will, after I finish my yogic practice, I will just become void. Nothing will remain, nothing. It's not like that. What he's saying is that rather the cessation of material existence enables one to enter into the spiritual sky, the abode of the Lord. So you just give up the material, we move to the transcendental. So the abode of the Lord is also clearly described in Bhagavad Gita as a place where there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity. Which chapter of Bhagavad Gita says that? Anybody remember? We do this chapter of Bhagavad Gita so many times.
Chapter 15, Mataji.
Chapter 15, correct, for 500 points. Right? Shall we visit that?
Yeah, 15.
Right? Yeah, 15 done. Okay, no, not 15.15. It comes after 12, right? It says, 12 basically says unintelligent people cannot hear. Even before that. Yeah, this one, 6. Na tadbhāsyate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakaha, yad gatva na nivartante, tadhamam paramam mama. So he's saying, the supreme abode of mind is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world, right? Which is something similar to what he's saying that, right? Right? You cease your material existence. If you cease your material existence, you have to get out of this material world, right? Where will you go? The kingdom of God, right? You'll go into the spiritual planets. So here saying, nor does cessation of material existence entail one's entering into the void, which is only a myth. There is no void anywhere within the creation of the Lord. Rather, the cessation of material existence enables man to enter into the spiritual sky, the abode of the Lord. The abode of the Lord is also clearly described in Bhagavad Gita. Na tadbhāsyate suryam, Bhagavad Gita 15.6 we saw. All the planets in the spiritual kingdom are self-illuminated like the sun in the material sky. The kingdom of God is everywhere, but the spiritual sky and the planet thereof are called paramdhama or superior abodes. Why are they called superior? Because they are made up of spiritual energy, which is always superior than the material energy. A consummate yogi means a yogi who's very skilled at yogic practice. A consummate yogi who is perfect in understanding Lord Kṛṣṇa, as is clearly stated herein by Lord himself, mat-saṁsthām, mat-saṁsthām, right, can attain real peace and can ultimately reach his supreme abode, Kṛṣṇa Loka, known as Golok Vrindavan. In the Brahma Samhita 5.37, it is also stated, Goloka eva neva satya kilatma bhutaha. The Lord, although residing always in his abode called Goloka, is the all-pervading Brahman and the localized Paramatma as well, by dint of his superior spiritual energies. No one can reach the spiritual sky, Vaikuntha, or enter into the Lord's eternal abode, Golok Vrindavan, without the proper understanding of Kṛṣṇa and his plenary expansion, Vishnu. Therefore, a person working in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is the perfect yogi, because his mind is always absorbed in Kṛṣṇa's activity. Savai mana Kṛṣṇa padara vindayo. In the Vedas also, Shweta Ashtaram Upanishad 3.8, we learn, Tam eva viditvati vrityam eti. One can overcome the path of birth and death only by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa. In other words, perfection of the yoga system is the attainment of freedom from material existence and not just magical jugglery or gymnastic feats to befool the innocent public, right? So when I say perfection of yoga system, does it remind you of a book? Is it? Perfection of Yoga. There's a book called Perfection of Yoga, which we distribute, right?
Yeah.
It's in book, right? Perfection of Yoga. So here they say
small.
people might, yeah, very tiny. It's a small book.
Hmm.
So people might be thinking about yoga as various kinds of activities. Ultimate goal of yoga is to get mystic powers and all that. But he's saying the perfection of yoga, the ultimate, the apex, the climax of yoga is that you connect with the Lord. That is the most important thing. So although this is called dhyana yoga and people might just think, I will do the dhyan, but the main question here is that you are putting your dhyan, you are focusing, but what are you focusing on? Right? You have to focus on Kṛṣṇa. That is very, very important. And when you focus on Kṛṣṇa, with the intention that your goal is also Kṛṣṇa. And something very interesting, Prabhupada, in the purport here. So if you go and look at the purport, Prabhupada says this,
Therefore, a person.
A person working in Krishna consciousness is the perfect yogi. So he was first talking about perfection, right? He was first talking about perfection of yoga. And now he's saying, how do you reach that perfection? Yoga Ruda stage, right? How do you reach that stage? But he's saying, if you act in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have got a very nice, in the 11th canto, nice discussions between Krishna and Uddhav, which also goes by the name Uddhav Gita, right? So that description between Krishna and Uddhav, there's something very interesting that Krishna says, okay? So Uddhav is there, Krishna is about to leave the world, Krishna is telling him, I'll leave and all that, and Uddhav says, please take me with me with you. And then Krishna tells him, no, you don't go with me, you stay back, and then you preach. Whatever I'm going to tell you, you go and preach to the sages who are there in Bhadrikashram, up in the Himalayas, you go and preach. Because in my pastimes over here, I didn't get a chance to go and meet them. So you go and preach, and so Krishna is training Uddhava. And one of the things from that particular cantos, 11th canto, 7th chapter, which is, Uddhav Gita, there's one verse, and I'm just going to bring that verse up here today. And let's see. It was. Okay. All right. So let's go back and start sharing the screen again here. It's 11.7.6. Okay. Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham swajana bandhusu maya veshya manha samyak samdrik vicharasva gam samadrik vicharasva gam. So here he's saying, now you should completely give up all attachment to your personal friends and relatives and fix your mind on me. Thus, being always conscious of me, you should observe all things with equal vision and wander throughout the earth. So that's the instruction he has given to Uddhav. And now see how Prabhupada is explaining it. He's bringing in V. Raghavacharya, Srimad Raghavacharya has explained the concept of equal vision as follows. Samadrik sarvasya brahmatmak katvanu sandhana rupa sama drishtiman. One who is on the path of self-realization should always endeavor to see the ultimate spiritual nature of all existence. Right? So we have to say, we also read in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that all these parts and parcels, we are all just parts and parcels of Krishna, right? So here also, when we are pursuing, equal vision, right? Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi hastini shuni chaiva sapakicha pandita samadarshina. So there also, it just says, it's talking about samadarshina, equal darshan, right? So equal darshan can only happen, you can see things equally only when you dig deeper and look at the spiritual essence of each of these items, and you'll see the same soul. Whether it is a lizard, whether it's a snake, whether it is an ant, or whether it's a peacock, it's just the soul that is inside, right? So if you are on the path of self-realization, if you are on the transcendental path, if you are a sadhaka who's trying to go back to Godhead, then you should always endeavor to see the ultimate spiritual nature of all existence, right? And you can use your intelligence deliberately to do that. So then he says, one should fix one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of everything. Thus, as one passes one's life on the earth, using up one's allocated time, one should practice seeing all things and all people as part and parcel of absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, ultimately they all have the same spiritual status. The material nature, also being an emanation of Krishna, has a similar spiritual status. But although matter and spirit are both emanations from the personality of Godhead, they do not exist exactly on the same level. So material energy is also created by Krishna, spiritual is also created by Krishna. That doesn't mean that since the source is the same, they are themselves are the same. They behave differently, right? So they are at a lower, material is at a lower level, spiritual is at a higher level. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the spirit soul is the superior energy of the Lord, whereas the material nature is his inferior energy. However, Since Lord is equally present in all things, the word samudrik in this verse indicates that one must ultimately see Kṛṣṇa within everything and everything within Kṛṣṇa. Thus, equal vision is compatible with mature knowledge of the varieties present within this world. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur comments as follows on this verse. At the end of his manifest pastimes on the earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, thought as follows within his mind. During my pastimes on earth, I have satisfied the desires of all those devotees who anxiously desire to see me. I have duly married many thousands of queens headed by Rukmani, whom I personally kidnapped, and I have killed numerous demons in various places and by various means. I have attended meetings, reunions, and ceremonies with many friends, relatives, and well-wishers in cities such as Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka, Hastinapur, and Mithila, and thus I have kept constantly busy. Remember, I have kept constantly busy coming and going in the performance of pastimes. I further arranged to give my personal association to great devotees who are situated below the earthly planet. In order to please my mother Devaki and return her 6 deceased sons who were killed by Kamsa, I descended to this planet Sutala and blessed my great devotee Bali Maharaj. In order to return the dead son of my spiritual master, Sandipani Muni, I personally went to the court of Ravi Nandana or Yamraj, and thus he was able to see me face to face. I even blessed the residents of heaven, such as Mother Aditi and Kashyap Muni, with my personal association when I traveled there to steal the Parijat flower for my wife Satyabhama. And in order to please the inhabitants of Mahavishnu's abodes, such as Nanda, Sunanda, and Sudarshan, I traveled to Mahavaikuntha Loka to recover the deceased children of a frustrated Brahmana. Thus, innumerable devotees who ardently desire to see me have received the objects of their prayer. Unfortunately, Narayana Rishi and the great Paramhamsa sages who live with him in the Badrikashram, although most enthusiastic to see me, never had their desire fulfilled. I have been on the earth for 125 years and the secluded time is now up. The scheduled time is now up. Being busily engaged in my pastimes, I did not have time to give my blessings to these great sages. Nevertheless, Uddhav is particularly the same as me. They say that they used to look alike also. He is a great devotee and shares my own transcendental opulences. Thus, he is the right person for me to send to Badrikashram. I shall give Uddhav complete transcendental knowledge by which one becomes detached from the material world. And he in turn can deliver this knowledge, the science of transcending the kingdom of illusion, to the worthy sages at Badrikashram. In this way, he can teach them the method of rendering loving devotional service to my lotus feet. Such loving devotional service rendered to me is the most valuable treasure, and by hearing such knowledge, the desires of the great sages such as Narayana will be completely fulfilled. These great souls who have surrendered unto me, this is very, very important paragraph. These great souls who have surrendered unto me are always equipped with transcendental knowledge and detached from the material world. Sometimes, being busy in their devotional service, they may appear to forget me. However, a pure devotee who has achieved the platform of love for me will always be protected by such sincere devotion. Even if such a devotee should suddenly give up his life while neglecting to fix his mind intensely on me, such a devotee's loving feelings are so powerful that they afford him all protection. Even if there is a temporary moment of forgetfulness, such devotion will bring the devotee to my lotus feet, which are beyond the vision of ordinary materialistic person. Uddhav is my pure devotee. Knowledge of me and detachment from this world have again been aroused in him because he can never give up my association. The sincere servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are vigorously endeavoring to spread this Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement for the pleasure of their spiritual master and Lord Kṛṣṇa. At the present time, thousands of devotees in Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement in the parts of the world are working long hours under difficult conditions to distribute transcendental literature and thus enlighten the general populace. In this effort, the devotees have no personal motivation but are simply desirous of pleasing their spiritual master by distributing his books. The people who receive this literature usually have no previous experience of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, yet they are so impressed by the purity of the devotees that they eagerly purchase the books and magazines. In order to execute the tremendous task of spreading Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the devotees are tirelessly laboring day and night because they are on the platform of loving devotion. Although superficially, such busy devotees may occasionally not think directly of the lotus feet of Lord, such loving devotion will undoubtedly take them back to Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet, And being pleased by their service, the Lord himself will again arouse the unflinching meditation upon his personal form. This is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga, which depends wholly and solely on the mercy of the all-merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Kṛṣṇa. This is the only totally safe means of uprooting. Once again, this is the only totally safe means of uprooting the deep desires for material enjoyment. Right? So today's verse is saying, and again here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear him tell that to Uddhava. This is the only totally safe means for uprooting the deep desires for material attachment, attaining pure love for Kṛṣṇa, and going beyond the material universe to the kingdom of God. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Neha vikramo nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Lord Kṛṣṇa also advised Uddhava of the illusory and attachment to so-called friends and family within this material world. One may not be able to physically give up association with friends and family and friends, but one should understand that everyone and everything is part and parcel of God and is meant for the God. As soon as one thinks this is my personal family, immediately one will see the material world as no more than a place of enjoying family life. As soon as one is attached to one's so-called family, false prestige and material possessiveness arise. Actually, everyone is part and parcel of God and therefore on the spiritual platform related to all other entities. This is called Kṛṣṇa Sambandha, or the constitutional relationship with Kṛṣṇa. It is not possible to advance to the highest stage of spiritual awareness and at the same time maintain a petty material concept of society, friendship, and love. One should experience all relationships on the higher spiritual platform of Kṛṣṇa Sambandha, which means seeing everything in relationship to Lord Kṛṣṇa, the personality of Godhead. One who is situated in the constitutional relationship with Kṛṣṇa can see all things in relation to Kṛṣṇa. He thus gives up the mundane urges of the body, mind, and speech and travels throughout the earth as a devotee of the Lord. Such a highly elevated personality is called Goswami, or master of the senses. This stage is described in Bhagavad Gita 18.54 by the words Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. On the spiritual platform, one attains complete satisfaction. Right? So you notice how Kṛṣṇa, how in this particular verse, there is so much of hope. Right? There is so much of hope on devotional service, on Bhakti Yoga. Right? That you are saying that I want to sit down, I want to sit on a kusha grass, I want to sit straight, I want to stare between my eyebrows. Try standing between your eyebrows. The eyes will start hurting in a few minutes. All this is very, very difficult to achieve. Right? But by contrast, what he's saying is that if you start working for Kṛṣṇa, even some such thing as you go out to distribute books, it is complete samadhi. And there's a lot of focus that is required. If you're going to distribute books, you have to first get the books. You have to first pack the books. You have to first read the books, right? You have to gather some prasadam. You have to pack them again, like that. And then only can these, things bear fruits for us, like that, right? So the beauty here is, again, Kṛṣṇa is also saying, and Prabhupada is elaborating on that, and that is that when you do Bhakti Yoga, you will get the results that you get from any other things. You will get mystic opulences also. You will get mystic powers also. But a devotee of the Lord doesn't want mystic powers. What will a devotee of the Lord do by walking on water and showing off? Prabhupada says you can stand on a boat and walk across the water. Right? What's the big thing there? Right? The biggest thing and the best thing to do is to go back to Godhead. Right? And in today's verse, they were saying that, you use your mind and body and intelligence, everything, and you give your material desires. How are the material desires going to go away? Material desires will only go away when you focus on Kṛṣṇa. If you don't focus on Kṛṣṇa, then it doesn't help. Right? You focus on anything else, then you will just go there. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajjatante kalevaram. Right? Whatever you think about when you leave this body, that is where you're going to go. Okay? So I will stop over here. We are 3 minutes over the top of the hour. And any reflections, any questions, I'll be happy to take.
Mataji, this 11th canto, which verse was this that you read?
This was 11th canto, 7th chapter, verse was 6, verse number 6.
Thank you, Mataji.
So the most promising thing that I found in this particular verse was this. Let me go up here. Yeah, here he's saying, right, that people who receive this literature, the book distributors, right, he's saying, the people take the book. In order to execute the tremendous task of spreading Krishna consciousness, the devotees are tirelessly laboring day and night because they are on the platform of loving devotion. Although superficially, such busy devotees may occasionally not think directly of the lotus feet of Krishna, such loving devotion will undoubtedly take them back to Krishna's lotus feet. And being pleased by the service, the Lord himself will again arouse their unflinching meditation on him upon his personal form. This is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga, which depends wholly and solely on the mercy of the all-merciful personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And this is the only safe means of uprooting the deep desire for material enjoyment, attaining pure love for Krishna, and going beyond the material universe to the kingdom of God. Right? So this is so powerful that you just engaged in the service of the Lord, and that is enough for you to go back to Godhead. And if you say like, oh, but I didn't even exchange, I don't even know how to do, show the ghee lamp because I was busy packing books. But he's saying that Krishna will automatically grant that to you. He will make sure that you remember everything about devotional service just by doing something as spreading Krishna consciousness to others. And we know in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that who is his most favorite? The one who explains this supreme secret to others, right? He's the most secret. So, and you distribute books, you are an instrument in spreading that information. So just keep that in mind, how Prabhupada has explained and emphasized Bhakti Yogas to be the best of the yogas, right? We're going to chapter 6, that's fine. And actually Bhakti Yoga will start from chapter 7. So like we say, Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters, 1 to 6, 7 to 12, and then 13 to 18. And just as in a book, that's 1 to 6 and 13 to 18 are like the cover of the book, but the main thing is in the book, which is in chapters 7 through 12. And 12 actually is called devotional service itself, right? Like that. Anything else? Any questions? Any reflections? Anything that comes to
No,
you?
Mataji, it's nice to back in the class and hear the Krishna Katha again. I feel alive.
Yeah, Krishna Katha is the only thing that can keep us alive and well. Yeah. It's nice.
Mataji, this will be pronounced as yuñjann evam,
Yeah,
but it is written double N, so
yuñjann.
yuñjann.
Yeah, there'll be a nasal. You say yuñjann, right? You say yuñjann. Yeah, so the right, instead of saying un, so there's a, twang, like as if there's a wire that you have twanged. Yeah, like that. Yuñjann. Like you say un has got also double N, right? Un. Yeah. So the thing is that we don't even pronounce Hindi properly. What you talk about Sanskrit? We say un. Right? Yuñjann. So the nasal tone is there. Yuñjann. Stanchion. Like that. Anything else? Okay.
I really like the last few lines, Mataji, that perfection of a yoga system is the attainment of freedom from the material existence and not some magical jugglery or gymnastic fits to befool the innocent people. So, I mean, you just mentioned in the beginning that nirvāṇa, voidness, you see, there is nothing which is not there. Everything has a something in it. Like you said, come, and you see, and then you said that anybody calling that I'm a yoga practitioner and he is walking on the water and showing few tricks, they are not actually the yogis. yogi is the one who is in transcendental position and understanding Krishna. I really like this point, Mataji.
Yeah. And these siddhis that you have, these siddhis are very fickle. They can also disappear at the moment, at the moment that you need it most, right? Like Kṛṣṇa forgot the mantras when he needed it the most, right? During the Mahabharata war. So we also have to remember that these siddhis, even if people get these siddhis, they have to be maintained by constant practice. Because I know that I had a colleague at work in my previous company. He got into, I gave him a Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything, and he would not read, but nice fellow. And then we parted ways. And then after some time I met him and he was like, oh, now I know why you do Krishna consciousness. I'm also getting into Krishna consciousness. And I said, what are you doing? So apparently he got into some group, and those groups will just teach how to perfect siddhis. So I said, what siddhi did you get? So he said, well, sitting from here, I can look in any house in Tamil Nadu. And I'm so, what are you going to get after looking? You're not going to see good things there, right? So what is the deal? What is the good thing? And then after a few years I said, oh, so now what, what is the stage of siddhi you have achieved now? And he was like, oh, no, I just gave up. Because every time the siddhis will disappear, so you have to maintain that level. And so I had to go to India every time 3 weeks and then practice, do their meditation or whatever, and get the siddhis back and do. And I'm like, okay, yeah, go to India, spend so much of money, and what are you doing? You're peeping into homes in Tamil Nadu. How does it help you, right? Unless the siddhis are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, like how Hanuman had siddhis, right? He could become bigger than the biggest. He became bigger than the biggest, and he jumped across the ocean. And then after jumping across the ocean, he became smaller than the smallest. That's how he could go and enter the groove where Mother Sita was sitting, right? So he's also got siddhis, but he's using the siddhis in the service of the Lord. And siddhis can also make your head puffed up. And that is not good for devotional service. Trināṇ api suniccena taro reva sahasrana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadāhari. So kirtaniya sadāhari, for us to be able to do kirtan sadha, we have to be humble.
Chanting all the time.
Mataji, may I leave?
Yes, please.
Mataji,
Yes,
what is that? Come means, what did you say?
Come is space.
Huh?
Space.
It's good. But of all this, I like that 11.7.6, that Uddhava, the Kṛṣṇa tells Uddhava. Those are the things that was very, very nice chapter, Mataji.
Yeah, the whole 11th canto is amazing.
11th canto. That was really, we had to go a long way to go, but so it did. Right now, some other class, I'm going into 2nd canto. So
that's the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah.
You're at the right place.
I like that so much, Mataji. Lotus feet. Today, another thing is another class. I attend so many classes. Another class is about Kṛṣṇa book. That Kṛṣṇa book also, they were saying about the gopis, they miss him a lot. And they were just, where did he go? Where did he, after a long time spending, he leaves them. Then they will feel so much. Where did he go? Where did he go? His fruit, did you see him this way? And they ask all the trees, all the jasmine, all the flower trees, everybody. But they couldn't find anything. Then finally they will see some of his lotus feet marks are there. They will think, but the marks, after a little while, the marks won't be two people marks. First, then only one person is walking. Where is it? Other person. But who was that other person going first? Then afterwards, that other person's feet is not there. Marks are not there. See, so much to listen to. And then I was thinking lotus feet and Tulsi, they'll ask Tulsi Mata, oh, do you know where he is gone? Because you always be at his lotus feet. Do you know where he is gone? Like that, gopis, They talk to themselves and they fight. They say, no, Govardhan Parvat is there. No, he's not there. Which way he went, they don't know. So beautiful that was. I just felt so much. I want to be, at least it is lotus feet, either tulsi or flower. That's all I want, Mataji. I don't know where he will take. Today morning also I was telling that Prabhu, I said, I want just only that. I want to be its lotus feet. I want to be a flower, or that at least if it is his ankles or anklets also okay. I want to be his lotus feet.
You have a strong desire. So you will achieve it.
I don't know whether I will achieve it or not. I was always, when I go to the temple also, I see the lotus feet first.
Good. Yeah, good.
That's the beautiful anklets. You imagine that. Anklets, tulsi, and then flowers. Ooh. That's Kṛṣṇa when he will give that.
Good. But thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, right? It comes in the, there is the Bhramar Geet, the song of the bee.
Yeah.
The Rani will ask the bee also there, right? Bhagavatam, and bee is not telling anything, and so then she gets jealous. Yeah, beautiful. Those are exotic 10th canto.
Those gopis talk to each other. Oh,
yeah.
That's
So I will have to take leave of you because I have meetings.
Okay, Mataji, leave us.
Yeah,
leave
and
us,
I'll keep you
Mataji.
posted on whether I can make the Sunday class or not. Okay, so take care of that. Vanchikalpatrubhyascha
Pasindho bevacha
Pitana
pratana.
Bhavibhyo Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Goprimante Hari Hari Bo.
What happened to Sukamala Mataji?
She's in India.
Oh, everybody's going to India, Mataji. I'm not able to go. Why?